codec and the mega modems with compression. I mean, it's also lifelike.
That's not the problem. The problem is the whole cyber universe is expanding so fast. Any kid who can hyperlink a GIF is a webmaster nowadays. That's it.
Yes, sure it takes a lot of memory, but you know, what size hard drive do you think I'm packing here?
Are you referring to the web crash last night?
No, I wasn't, but I can. Why?
Because I was thinking, whoever pulled that stunt off must be quite a brilliant hacker.
I wouldn't exactly refer to it as a stunt. It had wide-reaching implications. But I would have to agree with the second part of your observation. Genius.
Pure genius.
I didn't think it was possible with all the safeguards.
It can be done. It all comes down to access.
All they have to do is shut off the usual data stream and replace it with one of their own.
But to do that, wouldn't you have to take over the entire net?
No, just the key parts, which is the routers and the Nexus ports.
There are tens of thousands of those. No one could take them all over at once.
Think bigger.
Think global.
Think satellites. There's only a few dozen of those.
You mean someone hacked into the satellites?
Or they're base stations. All they need is control of the uplinks.
But that's net hardware. Doesn't that require special government access and codes? No mere hacker could do that.
Exactly.
Hey, Marty, Larry. Run a source trace on whoever Tony's currently chatting with in her VR 117 application. Huh. And check satellites as well as landlines. If this is our guy, chances are he could be coming from anywhere. I'm gonna go take a look.
So why would anybody want to do this?
That is a very good question. I'm not completely sure I'm equipped to answer it.
Oh, what's your hunch? Is someone trying to control or destroy the net?
I don't know, but anyone good enough to override that level of system checks is probably good enough to engineer men right out of prison.
Are you referring to the Westover breakout?
I got it.
No, not necessarily. Why?
I'm Deputy Commander Fiorelli of NetForce, and I request that you surrender your identity and location. You're wanted for questioning. If you leave this site, you will be in violation. What do we have?
Don't worry about it, we got him.
Where is it, Marty? Harper's Ferry, West Virginia. You were right, it was satellite. I've got the coordinates.
Excellent work, gentlemen. Think I found someone. If he's not our man, I'll guarantee you he knows who is.
You're kidding.
Dead serious. And it gets even better. We got a fix on his location, and it's within our targeted area.
What'd he say?
He was way too knowledgeable, describing in detail his concept of how to bring down the web.
Anyone can talk.
That's true, but without me even leading him, he made the association between the web crashes and the prison breakout. Besides, when I told him I was NetForce, he ran, which is a violation in itself.
You feel strongly enough to call in the big guns?
I do.
Why do those two words make me so uncomfortable?
All right. Better let Jim Fox know, just in case.
Alpha Bravo Group on point. Alpha Commander on point, on point. TACCOM, engage personal weapons. Lock and load.
Are they in there?
Take a look for yourself. Looks completely deserted.
Yeah, well, looks can be deceiving. I'd handle this with extreme caution.
And so would I, even without that comment. Lights.
You really think that's the best approach? If they are in there?
Is this the commander of the Stump Auto Raid critiquing my work?
This is the FBI and the NetForce Tactical Unit. We hold a duly issued search warrant for the interior of this structure. We're armed, and we are prepared to use force to execute this warrant. You have 30 seconds to indicate your willingness to comply peacefully.
So who tipped you they were here?
We traced a satellite uplink to this exact location.
That doesn't answer my question.
It was a very suspicious character in a chat room.
So we're all here because of some chat?
You don't know our end of the business. So why don't we just be professionals and go in and check it out? Okay?
Fire the gas.
Play. Move down. Penetrate. Roger, TechOp. Move in.
Alex, I'm going with him.
Living room clear. Kitchen is clear. Bedroom is clear.
There's nobody in there, Alex. It's clean.
Well, thanks for the tip, Commander. The next time you and your DEPCON decide to send us on a wild goose chase, be sure to double-check your leads first, okay?
So where are they, Jim? You've had 2 days. You got any hot leads?
You've got your orders, Michaels. You just mind your own little candy store and you leave me mine. There's nothing else to do here tonight. Send forensics back in the morning. Yeah, write up a report. Boss is gonna want to know about this as soon as possible.
What a jerk. This has to be the place. Our GPSs don't lie.
I'm telling you, Alex. This guy had to be hooked up. He knew way too much.
How long before the gas dissipates?
We're good to go right now.
Let's go check it out.
Thanks, Howard. I needed a bout with simulated asthma.
Oh, Fluffy Nutter. Must be a gourmet. That's good. It ain't good for you.
In here. What does that look like?
Blood.
Let's make sure we get a sample, all right? Makes you kind of wonder why some computer techie from a chat room would uplink from such a remote location and travel all of his equipment portable.
Plus, maybe he's on the run.
There's a thought. I'm starting to feel like the proverbial undertaker here. Keep showing up after they're gone. Somebody from our shop is still getting the word out as fast as we get it. What do you make of that?
5.56 NATO round. Standard. Where'd you get it?
Over there against the wall. Think that could be the cause of the stain?
Isn't that the same stock that Steve Day's killers used? It's comforting to know how thorough and observant Jim Fox's guys are.
Look, Tony. From now on, we have to check our leads out exhaustively before we go out in the field. I can't just go on intuition again.
You're right. But I think we're onto something.
Uday Shankar. The man who designed Westover's security system is the same man who designed Januscor's new web browser for Will Stiles.
Will Stiles is linked to the Westover breakout?
And probably Steve Day's death.
Is it or is it not true that you're bundling your web browser and the operating system that is installed in virtually every computer in this country?
I suppose so.
You consider this to be in the best interest of fair trade in a free, competitive market?
Well, if you're asking me if this gives Januscor a marketing advantage over our competition, I would have to say unequivocally yes. And isn't that a principle of free enterprise, survival of the fittest?
Back where I come from, we call it force feeding.
Uh-huh.
I have here an internal Januscor document. According to this, you all were very interested in what you call two-way talking or a swinging door. Now, could you explain what that refers to? In fact, it says here, and I quote, "He who controls all information controls the world."
I don't recall this. I suppose I was referring to a free sense of global communication.
That you would control. That's a frightening thought.
You know, I think what the real problem here is, Senator, is that you and I are talking at cross purposes.
Oh, you do?
Well, yeah. I mean, you're talking policy, and I'm trying to describe the real world.
Really?
That's the way I see it. We're moving toward a future defined only by technology and market forces. A new world order based on electrons and information. Personally, I don't see anything frightening about that. And frankly, I resent being treated as if this were a criminal matter.
I don't believe there's been anything said about criminal behavior, Mr. Stiles. You got something on your mind?
Mr. Chairman, I think that we pretty much exhausted this line of questioning, and I think that we should thank Mr. Stiles for his candor, his consideration, and I move to adjourn.
Hey, you sure gave the Commerce Committee a run for their money. Alex Michaels, NetForce commander.
Well, I consider that a compliment, Mr. Michaels.
Don't you find it more than a little coincidental that the Janus web browser designer Uday Shankar also designed the Westover security system?
What are you saying?
What am I saying? 8 felons are out and at large because of someone's manipulation of those programs.
I still don't see the relevance. Now, please excuse me, I've answered enough questions for one day.
With all due respect to a dear friend of our president, I'm not sure what you're up to. But I got a strong hunch you know what happened to my dear friend Steve Day.
Mr. Michaels, I guess I have to remind you that under our form of government, you have no right to harass me with unsubstantiated accusations. Good day.
Yes,
I've been patient so far, but there's a limit to my patience.
I'll handle it soon.
Well, soon is not good enough.
Just relax.
Look, he's getting too close.
I said I will take care of it.
Well, if this is not taken care of immediately, I'm going to give it to someone else.
It's done.
Good.
You're back. What's up? Are we going to go to my website?
Not now. I don't have time. I'm on my way out to dinner with Tony. Steve, do you have any idea what two-way talking might mean?
As it applies to what?
Apparently it showed up in an internal Januscor memo along with the term swinging door. I guess as it applies to an internet browser.
The only reference I have to anything like that in my memory banks relates to the concept of networking, or sharing information in an open application.